My life was taken away from me.
When she turned 30, Tamea Nagy got a tattoo of the letters YYZ on her shoulder, the code for Toronto Pearson International Airport.
I travel through the airport every single time I go through. There isn't a moment when I don't think about what happened when I came, not once.
It's a symbol of the two Torontos she now inhabits, the city where she found herself forced into the sex trade at the age of 19, and where almost 2 decades later she helped lead the fight against human trafficking.
My club, where I was kept the second time.
For a few days, Tamea Nagy is letting us into her life on both sides of her city, and it's hectic. Her first meeting is with Police Sergeant Ron Kapuscinski, who leads one of the city's dedicated human trafficking units.
Her self-esteem is exceptionally low.
He and his team need her advice on a victim they're trying to help. Over the past 6 years, Nagy has trained 14,000 police officers how to spot the signs of human trafficking.
We had no idea. She educated us on what we were seeing, and at the time we had no specific unit that was directly in charge or specifically dealt with human trafficking incidents.
You guys actually went to pick her up from home?
And she really did change the way our police service looked at and investigated human trafficking occurrences.
So we're heading now to the motel where Tamea Nagy was taken when she first arrived in Canada. This will only be the second time that she's been back there in 18 years.
So that's the entrance. And
it's a place that has come to signify just how important her work with police is, after a chance encounter at a training session.
It was about 3 years ago, and I asked before the presentation if any of you seen a victim before, and you see a few hands up. And I asked this gentleman in the back if he would share the story, and he goes, "No, I can't." He waited till everybody left. We went to the back, and he comes up to me, and he was crying. He goes, "I saw you. I was an undercover officer. I was put in right by your motel to watch for 3 months for drug operations. I watched you coming and going out of that motel. How would I know? How was I supposed to know?" My heart just sank.
In 2009, Nagy opened Canada's first ever shelter for human trafficking victims. Last year, despite multiple awards and recognition, it had to close because of a lack of funding.
It literally nearly kills me every time I get a message from a victim where they say, "I can't do this without you, my court is coming up." I really appreciate all the awards, but I just wish that I could see all the sacrifice, better laws, less girls being victimized more,
The resources given to the police to go in and do the initial rescue is so critical.
She's joined forces with Ontario Regional Parliament member Laurie Scott to help push through a new bill designed to protect trafficking victims.
What an honor to be here.
And in her whirlwind schedule, she's now tackling the private sector, teaching American and Canadian bankers to spot the signs of human trafficking.
You train them on when they see the certain transactions. What does that mean? Why do you think this is human trafficking, and what do you do with it? It's a huge breakthrough because bankers and financial institutions can play a huge part on fighting this crime. Thank you for listening.
It's this fight that has given Tamea Nagy her life back and her adopted city. So coming back here now, 18 years later, do you have any regrets?
None.
None at all?
None.
Claire Sebastian, CNN, Toronto, Canada.